Good morning, Friday morning here in Fort Mac. Just hope you're doing well and all that sort of stuff. And I had my little sabbatical, shall we say, or no, it's the wrong word. Anyways, I sat out and had a coffee on the back deck and kind of figured out a game plan for today and take care of those things that I have to address and things I can put off. Procrastination's a gift, and I've walked in it a bit too much in my life. But nonetheless, I'm making an effort, and I really thank you for hanging in there with me. I think this is 420 videos, and won't be a year until May 9th. And I really don't care how many I get done before then, but I kind of thought if I could get a few on that might just touch a heart and make a difference somehow. And so that's what I do, and I thank you. Uh, Visited with my newfound friends down at the Great Canadian Cruise, and didn't have the privilege of hearing much French language, but I'm always paying attention, and I'm actually I'm actually figuring about the only way I'm ever going to do this is to learn how to speak French is start watching the French network, and so I'm actually going to take a shot at that just for fun. This morning on Fox News, which incidentally is the only news channel that I found. There's maybe another one called Rebel or something, but I just don't know how to run my laptop and so on. And but anyways, I I realized as I was watching this morning that I had gotten up and I had made my coffee, something around 5:30 or so, and gone out and had my first two cups of coffee and several cigarettes. And I mean, shoot, I'm 72, and so I mean, I'd rather live every day to the nines and act the way I feel, which is 40, than 72. Gee whiz. I, I really don't like being around old people. Gee, it's scary. Um, but the thing that I was realizing this morning, very simply, is this: a bear becomes habituated. Foxes, ravens. I mean, on my haul truck, the ravens will land on the railing right outside the window of my truck, and I won't give them a lick of food because it furthers their depth of reliance upon people. And it's not that I don't have compassion for them. Well, I'm a little lacking in the raven department, but nonetheless, they have quite a few calls, shall we say, that that certainly indicate a level of intellectual understanding as far as communicating one with another. They don't do very well with Irish people. They don't. But as I sat and watched this morning, I realized there's a horror to the word habituation. And the horror is this: the things that an animal would recognize as a danger sign are, are set aside by becoming, by those animals becoming hardened to the situation they're seeing. And so they don't recognize the danger. And in that they don't recognize the danger, they start looking at the situation from their own objectivity. If they're not afraid of you, well, they won't stay away from you. If you feed them, if you're lax as far as taking care of garbage and stuff like that, they'll hang around. And the more they hang around, the more opportunity there is that somebody's going to get hurt. And it won't be a bear that weighs in, even in the springtime. A black bear will weigh 275 to 3 1/4. I mean, just a mean critter. Not by its very nature, but by its very, yeah, okay, let's go with nature. Because we as a people, we think we're at the top of the food chain. We're not anywhere near the top of the food chain. I guarantee you. Gravity, Irish, horses, we're not. You climb on a horse and you do the best that you can to resist gravity, stay in the saddle, so on and so on. A horse, unless it gives you its heart and you have earned its respect, and I think that's critical, it's going to put you off. Going to put you off. So we dwell on the word respect a fair bit, and the word habituation. The problem for me is this. I see on Fox News, it actually gives about the best reporting that you're going to get, okay, period. If there's a cant to it, a slant to it, it'll be conservative. If they are news people, they will stick to the news. If they are commentary people on Fox News, and there are plenty of them, they will give their inflection of what they're seeing. I give you my inflection on what I see, not only just on the news, but everyday life. My stance, inflection, perspective, rose-colored glasses that I look through have to do with my personal fight against child abuse and the resultant adults who grow up through that horror and can't function. And if they do, eat too much, not enough, too little. And I have studied the terrain when I hunt, and I hunt meat, and I'm pretty picky. I prefer moose. I, on one occasion, had to shoot a mountain lion with an arrow that was getting ready to jump on me at 18 feet. Oh, it was a lot of fun, Train. In my videos, as I said, 420, that video that I did about my cousin and I being attacked by a mountain lion at the back of our ranch. It's called The Mountain Lion, I think. And anything to do with Cowboy Jim and Mountain Lion, listen, you want to look at that, okay? Because perhaps I have in myself become habituated due to the exposure that I've been through and to. I don't fear much. I said that for the longest time, and then I met a lady, and I never realized that I could fear another person who wasn't 6'8" carrying a sawed-off shotgun or something, but a lady. Give me a break. But I was horrified. Couldn't talk, couldn't do anything. Didn't talk, didn't do anything. A mountain lion, that's it's more simple. It's going to kill you. That's its game plan. Your lunch. You're on the menu. If it's a bear, it's going to kill you if it chooses to. It may not. Black bears. Hey, if you have a 300-pound black bear and it bites you on the arse, compare that to a young grizzly, say 600 pounds, that's about the ratio, and it bites you on the arse, you still have a sore arse. Okay? Okay, let's take this over to the Ukraine. I look up, I see a sign that says, "We demand justice." Well, actually, you and I both demand justice. It's just that justice is tainted. There are two standards to justice. One is the politically correct and rich. They have a standard of justice that is not the same justice that an average person who votes those political pieces of, I won't say it, simple crap into power. When a politician is elected, he forgets where he managed to get elected from, in. It's the way it is. Okay. Habituated wildlife. Are you becoming habituated to the horrors that you are seeing on television? Putin, by his direction, or his generals, whatever, or their perhaps accidentally killed 39 people at a train station. Now, Putin would put forth his idea that his missiles are pretty accurate, and they better be. When you're dropping a missile 50 miles from the Polish border, you want to know that it's not going to reach 55 miles further on, because it will be then an incident, big incident. There was an incident at the train station, 39 people, over 300 wounded, and they were the people who were getting on trains to head from Eastern Ukraine to get out of Dodge, to disappear, to become non-influential in anything other than encumbering the countries that they go to, because they have nothing, because the war has taken everything from them. And in many cases, it's taken their children, their family members, brothers, sisters, fathers. But your habituation, what do you talk about today? What should you talk about today? Well, whatever you want to. But what do you talk about? How many times today will you think about Olena Ganeos, Avdiva? Oh, my other favorite name. How many times will you think and possibly pray, or at least think, sympathize, and say to yourself, "Thank God I am not capable of empathizing," which is sympathy, but based on experience. And we don't have that experience yet of having our towns bombed, our children killed. My elder sister lost a son, a young man, in his 40s hardly, not quite. And it wreaked havoc in her family. I'm a part of her family. Imagine in the Ukraine. Take your heart, Take your heart and hold it out in front of you as though you were holding a precious entity, because your heart is precious. Your heart is precious. Imagine if your hands had to hold the lifeless body of your child who had just been killed. Yesterday. A lady in her 40s, she was walking down the street with her son. Russian soldier shot her son dead right beside her on the sidewalk. And the lady in her agony pleaded with the Russian soldier, "Why did you kill my son?" He said, "He talked too much." Is that the difference? Is that the difference between being able to live or die? If it is, I'm screwed. I'm Irish. I always talk too much. But a baby boy of indeterminate age, I didn't hear that part, killed by a Russian soldier because he talked too much. Or the mothers over in the Ukraine who are raped and plundered, who have the joy of watching their children being raped and plundered. Have you become habituated? Have you become hardened by the atrocity that we see? Not the atrocity by the Russian people on the Ukrainian people, no, but on a group of narcissistic people who believe that they walk instead of God, because their deification is so self-evident in their arrogance. It's horrifying, and it is horrifying. So, you want to check this out a bit? You want to turn Fox News on? I'm telling you. You will be able to determine how habituated you have become to the horrors in the world by whether or not you throw up after about 20 minutes. And you realize the horror represented in just wanting to live with your children. Made your day? Didn't do much for mine. Can I make a nominal difference? Perhaps. Perhaps there's a chance. Perhaps. I could say God loves you. Oh, shoot. Perhaps if I'm articulate enough, it's kind of a challenge. I can convince you to consider God and pray for the people who are going through, which I pray we never will have to. God bless.